Hello and welcome back to Entirely English and our adventures into idioms that originated in the Navy, which are still commonly used now. Today we are on the letter U. There is not many. There's three we want to look at today. And not surprisingly, the closer to the end of the alphabet we get, the fewer there will be. So maybe like V and X I might put together on one recording. Let me know what you think about that idea, or if you prefer them all separately. So idioms beginning with U. Let's begin. In fact, let's get underway. And that is the idiom to get underway, or to be underway. Now, I have to give a shout out to Gary Martin here, whose entry on phrases.org.uk was very helpful in this one, because it corrected a mistaken belief I had, which was that way meant route, like road, the way you go to school, for example, or the way you go to work. But as Gary has pointed out, way doesn't mean that. It's not the course, but it comes from the progress a ship is making, or relates to the wake. That's the waves that come off the ship around the bows and trail behind it. That's the wake of the ship. So underway comes from that. Generally, when a ship was launched or when it left dock, as soon as it started its journey, it was underway. It was making forward progress through the water on its journey. So it is docked, it's at anchor, and then when it raises the anchor, unfurls the sails, it is underway. Now, as Gary points out, way for some period of time was misspelled. People thought it was W-E-I-G-H, like to weigh anchor. But it is this way, meaning the wake, comes from that root. So spell it W-A-Y, but you can think of it as weighing anchor, lifting the anchor to start your journey. In fact, it's not starting the journey, it's once the journey is in progress. So we use it these days to mean that something is in progress. The new product launch is underway. We've started it and it's heading towards its conclusion. The new proposal for a law about driving is underway. It means they've started discussing it. It's not been authorized yet, but it has started. It's underway. But basically, underway can be written as one word or two words, means that something is in progress. All right. Okay, so now we are underway with our idioms beginning with U, and our next one, our next idiom is what? How do I say? Our next idiom is under the weather. So there are many different speculations about the origin, but we're talking about naval idioms here, and it was used in the Navy. And when we talk about under the weather in the Navy, it meant the side of the ship which was bearing the brunt of the storm. So the rain is coming down at this angle, so that side of the ship is under the weather. It's taking the beating. And sometimes that storm, that force, would rock the ship so much even seasoned sailors would get seasick. Seasick is that illness you feel because of the motion of the ship. So they would go below decks and try to sleep it off in the middle of the boat where there's less movement. So they were under the weather. They were below decks, avoiding the weather. So under the weather is now used to mean somebody who is ill. Generally, it's a mild illness, like a cold, headache, a bit of flu, under the weather. Not like the old the plague or something. That's serious. That's not under the weather. So under the weather is used to refer to something that is not a serious illness, but maybe is stopping you going to work or stopping you going out for a drink. All right, now the last one I want to look at is not really an idiom, but it's a very interesting thing to do with the Navy, and it is the Union Jack. Now you're probably familiar with the Union Jack, and you probably call it the Union Jack. But when it's like flown over Buckingham Palace or outside shops on celebration days, it is the Union flag. It is only the Union Jack when it's flown on a ship. Remember we talked about the sailors were called Jack Tars. So it's a Union Jack at sea or on a ship. If it's anywhere else on land, it's not a Union Jack. It is the Union flag. Okay, so you might be surprised to know that.
We'll have Union Jacks left, right and centre.
Excuse me, Mr. Connolly, hang on a minute. Union Jacks?
Yes, that's right, isn't it?
That's the Union flag. It's the Union Jack only when it's flown at sea.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do apologise.
You can still call it the Union Jack. Most people do. But in reality, only at sea is it the Union Jack. Okay, so wave our little flag. So next we are looking at idioms beginning with V. And I'm not sure of any, actually. I know some words related to the Navy that begin with V. But I'm not sure about idioms. So we might combine V and W. If you don't like the idea of combining them, say so in the comments. I do listen. All right. So I hope you found that interesting. Not so many with U, even few with V, and X is going to be a bit of a problem. So let's see how we get on with the end of this alphabet and what we're going to do next. Anyway, do say what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye now.